Howdy, David Kelly here for Grassroots Vegan. It's been a very long time since I've posted a video. Um, Basically because I've been extremely busy over the summertime. My mother fell seriously ill. She was 86 years old and had cervical cancer. It spread throughout her body, and so I spent my time with her. And that was a full-time job, going back and forth to the hospital, and then you know she insisted on wanting to stay home, and that's where she wanted to be, at home, not in a retirement home or a hospice or whatever. Just wanted to be home, so that required a lot of extra care and a lot of work. The other thing, I was also doing the Canadian Securities course in finance, and I just completed that, and I'm glad to say that I passed. I got my certificate, so I'm quite happy about that, and that did take up time as well. So, and then, of course, I have my family, I have my children, and I'm not making any excuses here for not putting a video up. It's just that I got caught up with life. Yeah. And so today I've decided, you know what? I should let you know that I'm on day 3 of a water fast. I'm doing this because I think it's good occasionally. I don't believe you should fast for the purpose of losing weight. I think that is, you'll end up having the opposite results, because when you go back to eating again, you'll probably gain more weight than what you initially lost. It's more to do with internal healing, I think. You're giving your body a break so your internal organs can have a chance to recover and rejuvenate. I don't have a set timeline for how long I'm going to fast, but I'm just taking it day by day. I was almost ready to pack it in yesterday because I was weak and I was really hungry, and so I just carried it through, and I'm here today on the 3rd day. I'm still weak, but I'm beginning to feel a little bit better, and I know this is just a natural. This is what your body goes. Your body goes through different stages when you're fasting, and when you understand that, then you don't need to panic when you start feeling strange. So a lot of things have been going on in the raw food world since I posted my last video. I think of Harley and Freely, Durian Rider, and their kind of change in direction. And I found this I was quite surprised that it came from them, and that is, they've allowed to have cooked food in their diet. It's still low fat, it's still vegan, but they're allowing themselves to eat things like rice and baked potatoes without any of the oils, and corn pasta. And I thought, this is really interesting, because for myself, this is more or less what I've been doing all this time, is because I aspire to eat 100% raw, and there are days when I can eat 100% raw, but I still like eating cooked food, and I can't deny that. But I try to keep it low fat and vegan. And I'm not saying that this is ideal. That I think ideally, like if you could be somewhere where the climate is consistently warm and you have access to fruits and vegetables that are organic, that are nutrient rich, and then there would be no reason to cook food, I don't think. I think you would be quite satisfied with the abundance of fruits and vegetables around you. Um, and if you're getting lots of sunshine as well, and you're getting a good night's sleep, and you're physically active, I think ultimately that's ideal. But for most of us, and I think this is what Harley and Freely have pointed out clearly, is that this is not realistic. I mean, some of us live in places where it's difficult to get fresh, organic fruits and vegetables that are nutrient rich 12 months out of the year. It's just not practical. And also our lifestyles may not be conducive to just eating 100% fruits and vegetables. But that being said, I have to tell you, when I was busy, running back and forth looking after my mother, and that was time consuming, and it required a lot of work on my part, sort of a disruptive lifestyle where I couldn't consistently just sit down and eat 3 meals a day. Actually, what I found helpful was the fact that I was eating fruits and vegetables, because that's the easiest, most convenient food to eat when you're on the go. And if you really, like, for example, when I was at the hospital for hours on end with my mother, I would go to the cafeteria and they would have bananas there. They sold bananas, and also I would bring dates with me. And also in the cafeteria, you could make your own salad. So there were alternatives. And I find that, depending on where you live, it's not too bad. You can get by on eating fruits and vegetables, and you can incorporate into your busy lifestyle. If you have a busy lifestyle where you're on the go all the time, it's not too difficult to incorporate fruits and vegetables into that lifestyle. But it requires a major adjustment for a lot of people who are used to just maybe going to McDonald's or Tim Hortons or any fast food outlet where they can get the calories they need to get through the day. But once you've made that adjustment, it's actually quite easy to do. And I think, that's one thing I realized over the last little while, was that eating a diet of predominantly fruits and vegetables, when I started the whole YouTube thing, it was a part of the vegan journey kind of idea, that I was on this great journey. And in the beginning, that's really what it was. It was a whole new lifestyle experience for me. It was a transformation with great health benefits and emotional benefits and psychological benefits, all of that. But I realized after a while that this is no longer really a journey. It's just a lifestyle. It's the way I live. It's the way I eat. I don't think a lot about what I'm doing. I just, it's what I desire, and it's not an effort. It's not, nor is it like some great kind of transformation happening in my life anymore. It's simply just the way I am. And I don't think about it most of the time. And so that kind of frees me up. I'm not, and this is probably another reason why I don't put videos up regularly, is because I don't know if, so I feel like I don't really have anything worthwhile more to say about it. Like, what more can you say than to eat fruits and vegetables? And I have other interests in life. It'd be different if I decided to become a full-time health coach, nutritionist, then I could see, then I would, there is definitely, you would want to educate yourself on all the nuances of eating this way, and you'd want to do research into better understanding how this diet works and the challenges that people face. And this is kind of, a lot of the YouTube videos that are up there and the people that are representing this lifestyle, they don't seem to get past this diet being nothing more than a weight loss program. And, it's great for reducing your waist size. It's, and I think there's so much more to it, and there's so much more we need to learn. And so intellectually, I think the whole movement, the low-fat, raw food movement, is kind of lacking in this area, where we really need some intelligent, educated people getting together and having, dealing with issues within the movement. And I think there's a lot of them. I think this diet, a lot of people that have tried eating predominantly fruits and vegetables, whether it's 100% or 90% or whatever, have hit problems, and that I don't necessarily have a clear answer for. There is the tendency to say, well, you're just not doing the diet right. I think that's a little bit of a cop-out, rather than trying to, maybe there's more here that we need to learn. And maybe the diet as defined as 80-10-10 is not necessarily that. Like, I used to think that was it. It can't get any better than that. But is that true? These are questions that I don't necessarily have answers to. So, if I were to take this up as a serious occupation, then I think that's kind of where I'd want to go. The direction that I'd want to go into is a better, let's say, medical. Medical is not the right word, but definitely having an intricate understanding of how the body works, but not just that, but how the body works in different environments and under different kinds of stressors. And I think that's where we have to reach deep into it. And that is, everybody's life circumstance is different and has different challenges. And some people's lifestyles are just not conducive to eating a diet of predominantly fruits and vegetables. Now, does that mean the diet is wrong or the lifestyle is wrong? Perhaps it's the lifestyle. The lifestyle needs to be changed. But what if the person's in a situation where they're so embedded in that lifestyle because of relationships, because of commitments, that they just can't change it? They can't drop it. They can't walk away from it because it would be irresponsible, or maybe even legally irresponsible at that point. I mean, there are people who have careers that they're so embedded with, they're so committed to, that for them to just walk away would be a liability. So, does that mean that there's no hope for these people to change their diets, to improve their health? I would like to think that that's not the case. I would like to think that we could find a way to kind of bring the two together. Perhaps there is a way, because the reality is in many of these cases, such individuals whose lifestyles are unhealthy, but they can't escape them, um, they're going to end up losing their health, and that is probably the greatest asset you can have. And so there's got to be a way of somehow kind of is it forgive me, my brain's a little bit lethargic still on this fast, but trying to incorporate a low-fat vegan diet of predominantly fruits and vegetables into people's lifestyles, whatever they may be. That's a challenge. Uh, but I'm glad to see that Freely and Harley are stepping up, and they've taken a lot of flack for this. Mind you, they asked for it too. I like, come on, they're very opinionated, and they're out there on the edge, and they definitely are. They're asking for battles, but they're honest. I appreciate their honesty, and I like the direction they're going in. I think it's more realistic for most people, but we also got to stop and think, okay, you got to be careful. Once you start, like, you got to have a goal set before you, something higher and better than where you are now. And if you start making, you got to be careful. If you start allowing, let's say, cooked food into your lifestyle, then what's next, right? Next, you say, okay, I'm only going to have rice, but I'm not going to add salt. And then, the rice without the salt is not that great. So, and then, you might decide, maybe a little oil wouldn't hurt. I'm just saying, you got to be careful when you start making adjustments like that you start compromising away everything, and you end up just where you were before. Human behavior is very sneaky in that way. It's like the person who quits smoking for a month and then decides, you know what, I can have one cigarette, maybe just at the social gathering, and they do it at first, and then, next thing you know, they're back into their old habit again, full-fledged. And this is, I think, so you should have goals of wanting to aspire to something better, and if that's 100% raw, eating fruits and vegetables, low-fat vegan, that's your standard. So whatever you eat, what you allow in your life after that is kind of substandard to that. It's not like you're doing a bad thing. It's just, it's not ideal. And we need to have those ideals. We need to have our ideal person of who we want to be and where we want to be. And that's because that's what pushes us forward to constantly want to improve. What else? Nothing really. Just recap, I'm still eating predominantly fruits and vegetables. I eat a cooked meal usually in the evening time. So raw to four is pretty much my policy. It was my policy before I even heard of the term. But usually by around 5 o'clock I'll have a cooked meal. And I try to keep it low fat, vegan. There have been times when I've broken from that, and those examples would be if I'm with my children at a restaurant and their only option is really the veggie burgers, which I know are high in fat, but I treat myself, and I'll even treat myself to some fries, which are deep fried, but those are rare occasions. and it usually is in the context of eating out, which I don't do that often. So I guess, sinning a little bit is not a bad thing either. I know after I do it, I always felt like, oh, it tasted good at the time, but it doesn't give me the same feeling I get when I eat something healthy and nutritious and low fat. So that's basically where it's at for me. I'm not sure when I'll put the next video up. It's not like I have a large following, but there are some people who do watch my videos, and I'm still getting subscribers to this day. Thank you very much. And that'll be all for now. I think oh wow, almost 21 minutes. 21 minutes now. That's probably the longest video that I've done. Anyways, have a great day and God bless.